Today we're going to use sketching pencils to draw an apple, using the skills in the Part 1 video tutorial to now apply them to everyday objects. Choose 2 soft pencils, 2 mid-range pencils and 2 hard pencils. You can link up the pencils to the areas on the apple and the shadow. 6B for the shadow underneath, 5B for the darker areas on the apple, 2B for the lighter dark areas on the apple, and the H's for the very light areas. The white part of the apple will be the paper. Using a hard pencil, like a 5H or a 3H, gently draw around the areas that are darker or lighter. Here's a lighter area that actually goes all the way underneath the apple to the other side. On this side there's a darker shadow on the left-hand side. You're just putting the general shape of those darker or lighter areas. With your mid-range pencil, here in HB, start to shade in the areas of mid-tones on your apple. You're going to be building up layers here, but always remembering to curve your lines to give the shape of a 3D object. Now 2B, building up darker layers. At the bottom here you can see the lines widen out in the middle, curving round the shape of the apple. This is the first layer. Now a 5B, getting darker, adding on top and around the darker layers of shading. "5H" here, bringing that lighter part of the apple on the left and right hand side, working round the really bright bit where the light reflects off the apple. Mid-range here. Using a rubber, you can rub out that light reflection. Then keep on just building your layers, looking back at the apple and correcting where you've not captured the right shade. Use your mid-range pencils to blend. You can also use your finger, a tissue, the end of a cue stick or earbud. These are all great blending tools. Here, this is a very hard pencil, 5H, going over and around that highlight. Now we need to blend this shadow in. You can see it suddenly goes from dark to light. So using a 2B here, blending and mixing those shades together. Drawing any object using this method is not a quick job. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes practice. But with lots of practice and patience, you can get amazing results. More blending with a 2B here. Also building up whole shapes where the apple has a sort of cheek to it. There, the shadow on the left-hand side, bringing it out more. Now the background part of the apple, behind the stalk. The shadow of the stalk in 6B. And then the light edge of it with a 5H. The very inside is lighter, so using a rubber I'm taking out the dark areas and making it lighter. Six B now to put in the darkest area of the shadow. Then a 5B to put in the lighter area of the shadow, the penumbra. Again, your pencil or a Q-tip can be really useful for blending. 2B for the very outer area of the shadow. With a hard pencil, now add the faint lines that make an apple skin so typical. They are curved lines, quite light, that go from top to bottom around the skin. On this particular apple, there were tiny little dots with a circle around them. The green apples have this pattern. All this detail makes it look more realistic. Now for the stalk. Hope this tutorial has helped you learn how to use sketching pencils to draw everyday objects.